The Glory Game, brought to you by Hull Spurs, an official Tottenham supporters group.
What an intro that was.
We've pimped that up, haven't we?
I know, it's got quite a good little ring to it, hasn't it? So I just want to start us off by saying a massive thank you to everyone who's already viewing. So this episode is going to be co-hosted by both myself and Matt. It is going to be with the Hull Spurs supporters group as well. So we're basically just going to touch on just the ins and the outs of what's been going on, really, aren't we? So we'll just start off by just basically saying how everyone is. So Ben, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, as always.
Good stuff. Oh, we've got another one. Hi, Andy, you all right?
Yes, I am, thank you. So, after the computer just crashed, just as your intro went.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's live TV for you guys.
Yeah, literally. It just looks like he was fashionably late. It's not a problem. And Matt, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Kirsty. Thanks for hosting this. Bit of a revamped version of our podcast that we've been putting out for the last, I don't know, maybe a year or so. I don't know if it's been that long, but yeah, it's almost like Spurs are at Wembley again. This is being hosted by your good self. So yeah, I think you've dragged us into the new age with a brand new kind of format, which is, I think, is a bit more modern than what we was doing.
Oh, you got to give yourself some credit. You was the one that put it all together, pretty much, with Ben's.
Yeah, well, it was
video.
It was very much in the past. It was aimed towards Spotify and Apple streaming, and it was an actual podcast. Whereas now, I think we're going to take it down the route of live YouTube videos, but also have the ability to put it out on Spotify still, and all the other platforms as well. So we've got the best of both worlds. So hopefully, any of the Spurs, the Hull Spurs supporters group out there, that can listen, that can interact a lot better, send in the questions, and just generally interact with us a lot better than what we've been doing in the past. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm really glad to obviously be able to do this with all of you as well. So yeah, we'll just kind of see who's in the comments already, because I know that there is quite a few people already watching. So we have got a comment here when it loads up on my computer from Adam. It says this should be interesting. Well, I'd like to think it's going to be interesting. It's our first one. So yeah, we'll just kind of see how it goes, and hopefully it'll be a success.
Let us know 10 minutes in, Adam.
Yeah.
With a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Chris, big up, Kirst. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely. Thanks for joining, Chris. Big up, Brian. I do think that we will be joined by the two Brians very shortly. They are absolutely amazing guys. So yeah, that'll be really exciting. Let's see who else is in. So Talking Tottenham TV says, hi guys, big up Kirst for episode 1. Come on, you Spurs. Thanks, Jamie. I really appreciate you tuning in as well. Let's have a look. Hello, Kirst. I don't know if you know me, but I am THFC News on Twitter. I'll have a look actually on Twitter, because I don't see many of the usernames or anything, so I'll definitely give that a check out. Let's have a look. So Chris Quinton says, looking forward to it. Hopefully, I mean, it'll be a good watch. We'll just have to kind of just see how the night kind of takes us. Big up to see some sex appeal and glamour on a screen, and good to see you too.
Thanks for the recognition, Bob.
It's a bugger, that one. So look, write it down and don't ever forget. In the summer of 2021, Ronaldo, Varane and Sancho joined Man United, and we witnessed Messi, Ramos and Donnarumma joining PSG.
And we sold Sissoko.
Hey.
Yeah, literally. How good is that? We're starting to get the deadwood gone.
And we got money for him.
Yeah,
Poor old
actual
I
currency.
know. I can't believe it. How much
Although
did you get? Was it like 3 mil?
Don't you think it's funny as the day went on, the figure got smaller and smaller? It was like 10 million at first, and then it was 3, and then it was 2.5. So it's a bit like a 1993 transfer figure, that, isn't it? Like a 2.5 million pound.
I've seen so many different figures online, but I think it was Alistair Gold that said he went in the end for 3 mil. But I'm surprised we even got that for him. But best of luck.
Even a free transfer would have been good business.
Yeah,
100 grand off the wage bill. He wasn't going to really play, was he? So I feel bad for being so joyful that he's gone, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He gave everything though, so let's give him some credit. He did have that amazing season as well.
Well, apparently, he might be. It's been rumored that he might actually be starting on Sunday, but I can't see that happening.
I don't think he's registered in time.
No,
No,
I just heard a tweet
it's-
earlier, but I can't see it happening anyways.
It's usually by 11 o'clock with the Friday before, isn't it? I think if they're registered before 11 o'clock, or it certainly used to be back in the olden days. Yeah. But again, you can just imagine him starting on Sunday and scoring an absolute worldie in top corner.
Well,
Yeah.
don't you be putting that into the universe. We don't need that. We don't need that negativity. We'll win.
Is there any more comments there, Kirsty?
Yeah, I'm just getting through them. So, Stel's also put, but Arsenal were the biggest spenders in the window because they signed White, I can't pronounce that, Lokonga and Ramsdale. Oh, well, they're idiots. So, what's this one? Okay, you're supposed to read the second message. Sorry, that's my bad. I'm a gabber. I just literally, I'll read something and I just keep going. I don't even bother to carry on. Oh, hey, please put another one. What's this one? Kes, read my first message by the second
In
message.
step-by-step instructions
Right,
now.
you've got it, boss. Right, let me just have a
We'll
quick
get
look
onto
at
that,
one.
Bob. We'll definitely get onto that.
Is it too early to call Pep a fucking fanker? No, call him it whenever you want, Bob. Never too early, especially for him. So we are actually joined, guys, by the two Bryans. I'll just quickly pop them in.
Hello.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
How's everybody doing?
I've seen you guys on We Are Tottenham TV. I've seen you guys on YouTube on the big TV.
We're here, we're there, we're everywhere.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm doing my Julia Roberts. I'm walking down the street corners and working it, baby, working it, baby. I'm here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, that's what Pride does. It's why we are where we are. Thanks for having us, Kirst, by the way. Pleasure.
No,
Thanks for
it's
coming
fine.
on.
Honestly, yeah, thank you for coming on and messaging me. I really appreciate it, because obviously I know that it was last minute. So yeah, big up, guys. Thanks so much.
We're doing our Friday. We got our two Bryans happening later, and we're just when Brian gets here early, and we go on as many channels as we can until we go live ourselves. So yeah, thank you for having us.
What time is it for you guys?
It is currently 5:11 Eastern.
And you just kind of just spend your whole evening just like channel hopping.
Yep,
pretty much.
Well, the whole day. We started a few hours ago. We were on. Johnny Einstein's channel for a couple hours, and then we're hopping here, and then we're going to be on our own channel at 7. So hopefully we can maybe the folks here want to do a raid and join us at your Brian's at 7, which would be midnight UK time.
At what point, guys, do you get like spazzed out and you've just had enough?
I'll let Brian answer that.
It depends what the current topic is. There's a certain topic I can talk 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
He says talking,
shouting, screaming, going crazy. Yeah. And I love my Tottenham. I'm diehard Tottenham. I've been all my life. It's the one thing, the one sport I've watched religiously. So it's better than watching Sky Sports News regurgitate the same nonsense over and over again. So to hop on YouTube or just to listen to other channels, it's always fantastic to just be a part and listen to 24-hour-a-day Spurs content.
Yeah, definitely.
Having said that, we have Sky Sports on a tablet. Repeating the Ronaldo to United news over and over again at the moment. I don't know why it's on, but it's there, and that's sort of the nature of things.
It's crazy. It's crazy how fast that has developed.
It was nuts. It went very, very quick. And City are without a striker, without a forward at the moment. Brian is BobSpur. BobSpur is actually going to be on our show at 7 too. So it's hilarious. He's been in the comments of every show we've been on, and now he's going to.
He's like you to it. He's a bit of a.
He's everywhere, BobSpur. He's more everywhere than we are right now.
I sent him the link as well for this one on WhatsApp.
Yeah, he sent it to us because the one I was trying to copy wasn't working. But the thing with Ronaldo, isn't it amazing how the biggest player of the world, the transfer can get done in 24 hours, yet we can't sign a person in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's
crazy. But the biggest deal in the world can go through like that.
It's true. It's true.
For peanuts as well. It's not even a big transfer, is it?
Very true. It's win-win.
18 million or something. 19 million.
Yep. They'll make that in shirt sales alone this weekend.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bonkers, isn't it? Well, guys, we're going to be talking lots of topics tonight. So we're going to be talking current form, how we think the team are doing at the moment, players that are standing out. We're going to be talking transfers as well, I guess. It's probably something that we all love talking about, who we should be bringing in, who we should be shipping out. We're also going to be talking about some of the players that we have brought in. But I guess, guys, we should start with the game that was last night. How we all saw that unfolding, what we was pleased about. Obviously, we're through to the group stages, and we've been drawn against some kind of low-ranked European teams, which I think we're all looking forward to watching on. I don't even think he's on Channel 5 or ITV4 anymore, is it? It's like no one's interested.
And to be fair, Matt, I don't even think, because we have in Canada we have a thing called DAZN, which is what, like, the Europa League's on it, the Champions League is on it, the Premier League is on it, and the Carabao Cup is on it, but currently no Conference League. I'm hoping that changes because I don't want to have to. I mean, I don't really care too much about streaming illegally, but if I have to, I will. But it'd be nice to. It's such a crap tournament that it's not on any television channels at the moment.
Yeah.
At this point.
So what do we all think then of last night's game? There was some standout performances from some certain players, but I guess Ben, Andy, what did you make of it first of all?
It was just nice to see a coherent Tottenham performance again. You know, the first one, you got to kind of look over it, and it was where it was. You know, it was younger and experienced players just stuck with dribs and drabs of experience, really. And, you know, you could tell they've not gelled together at all. And I think what we saw last night was so much better. You know, that's the Tottenham we know. And from front to back, I thought it was absolutely just solid.
And Andy, some standout performances as well. You know, a lot of credit was given to Winks and Heel or Gill or whatever we're calling the guy. Brian, I think we should probably call him.
I'll stick with Brian. Yeah.
He's the third one of us. You know, there's three Brians now.
Who knew there was Spanish Brian? Yeah, because I didn't know.
Yeah, again, I'll just really echo what Ben said. It's a professional performance. We needed a good solid win. We got the goals. Harry scoring, and I think I've said for a long time, as soon as he got that first goal, after everything that's go on, the crowd had changed, it'd be behind him. Professional performance, got the job done, and now on to wherever we're going next. It's some of the little outbacks places of Europe. If we're in the tournament, if we keep progressing, then let's go win it. You know, but I don't think anybody's been too fussed if we. I think it's just the banter level, isn't it? If we went out of this tournament, we're just the banter club for a bit, but who cares? So I think that's the thing.
Well, it's kind of like what you said yesterday, Ben, about you wasn't that bothered if they went out, but then at the same time I said, well, if they do get knocked out, then it gives Arsenal the right to kind of laugh down on Spurs, and you don't want that.
No, we don't need it.
Yeah, but they've just signed Aaron Ramsdale. So,
yeah.
Spent the most money in the transfer window so far as well, and still haven't scored a goal in the Premier League.
I think Chelsea's going to quickly surpass that, though, aren't they? If we're going to get Koundé from Sevilla.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Brian's. So I'm going to call you Brian's if that's all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Big call worse.
Yeah.
So obviously Kane scored 2 last night. He's off to a great start with 2 goals. Do you think he's going? Well, I don't want to jump into the next game that quickly, but obviously that's going to give the fans a big sort of positive feeling towards him as well. Again, is he starting to turn it round now? Do you think from the last couple of weeks, months?
He's got a long way to go. Don't get it wrong. It's a step in the right direction, but he did wrong. This has all happened because Man City haven't put the money up, and that's why the statement came out. I don't want him to start on Sunday. No matter how good he is, you've got to earn your place back, and the front 3 in the league haven't done anything wrong. Yep, he scored 2 goals. Yep, it's great to see him. But earn your place back, mate. Earn your place back, in my honest opinion.
The good thing about the 2 Brians is we often disagree, so it makes it a good conversation.
That's the dynamic.
That's the dynamic. So I actually could completely disagree. I think Harry Kane should start. We saw the difference from when he played yesterday and how we play. I'm a little nervous about sort of the structure because we played a 4-3-3 for
I'm laughing at BobSpur's comments.
That sounds right. BobSpur making comments. So the shape, right? We played a 4-3-3 up until this point last night, which was I didn't even know what the shape was. It was odd. It was sort of fluid, and there's a lot of different things that happened. But I think Harry Kane starts, and I think he, despite what happened over this summer, I think Spurs fans will quickly forget. I think they did when he scored 2 goals last night and got us through basically to the next round of a hokey tournament, but a tournament that is an opportunity for a trophy. So I think he starts, and I think maybe Bergwijn misses out. Despite him playing better from a form perspective, you put Sonny, Kane, and Mora in that front three, and you got a pretty potent front three. If it's a 4-3-3, which that'll be interesting to see how we end up playing.
Yeah, it's interesting take on it, really. I'm not Bergwijn's biggest fan, if I'm honest. I like his work rate, and he got to applaud him for that. But at the same time, I kind of want a little bit more from him, and I'd take Kane over Bergwijn any day of the week.
Best player in the team. You don't bench him.
What I would say on that is what would intimidate Watford more? We play with the same first 11. After 60 minutes, let's say it's 1-0, 1-0, 0-0, and Harry Kane comes on, as opposed to he goes off and a Bergwijn comes on.
What would be more intimidating, to have the best striker in the world score 2 or 3 goals and be up comfortably, and then have him go off and not worry about it?
We're Spurs fans. That don't happen.
I know. Hey, but you know what? Maybe I'm an anomaly, I suppose. But I just feel like get the job done, which is what I was actually really happy he played last night. And the job was done. It's like, get him on. He scores goals. He was creative. He was given the ball in the right places. Gil was fantastic, or however you say his name. Start him. We're better with him in the side. Period.
20 seconds we nearly had that first goal, didn't we? I think it was like 22 seconds in. Kane literally nearly put it in the net. I can't believe it.
Yeah, should have scored, to be honest. Like Harry, if it maybe wasn't 20 seconds in, you would have expected him to pot that. And maybe it's just a little bit of, oh shit, this is happening now. I gotta get my shit together here. Sorry, did I start too soon? Oh no, it's 17 minutes. We're fine.
Yeah, you're all right. I thought Winks, to be fair, as much as everyone kind of discredits Winks, he had quite a good game yesterday, and he was making himself available quite a lot as well.
It's his level, though, Kirst, would you say?
You what, sorry?
It's his level, would you say? Like the quality of the opponents, he stood out because of it?
Yeah, to be fair, Winks isn't at the level that we want him to be at.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't play that well in the Premier League.
Plug him on the market, but I'd just that pass that he made to, I'll just call him Brian as well. I thought that was really good.
It was. Yeah.
It was really
the tackle to lead up to it was brilliant too. So,
one thing I'd like to ask, and probably start with Andy, if that's all right, is Mourinho. It was thought that we would last season in Europa we would play bits of second string teams, but it more or less ended where we was having to rely on a lot of first teamers to get us through tough games. Do you think that's going to be the same again with the Conference League? Do you think we're going to see Premier League starters getting us out of trouble in these European games, Andy?
No, I don't. I think it depends on how far we go in the tournament. I think in the group gate stages, it'll be quite a mixed. I think there'll be a little bit of experience. I don't think we'll see Harry Kane every week, and I don't think we'll see Sonny every week. Maybe one or the other. I think the further we progress, if we start making it to a quarter, semi-final stage, then it'll be more like first team. But no, I think that it'll mix it up. Just try and get that blend of youth. I mean, it's old adage, isn't it? It says that youth and experience.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I ask is because obviously, the first game is bloody awful, wasn't it? So, to have some of them players in that was relying on to get us that away match result never really happened. And a lot of them some of them players, like your Doherty, like your Winks, it's unfair to kind of class Romero in there and some of the new lads, but some of these players didn't really perform last year, did they, in the Europe? And it feels like, as Brian said, it's his level for Winks. He was awful in that first game. So
him and Lo Celso both were really, really terrible.
Yeah, there was, yeah. So I'm hoping that we're not going to have to rely on our game changers in these really crappy games away in France. And
do you think on that first game there was just too many changes, right across the board?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think for me it was probably I said this to Brian as well. I think there was a case of this is a bunch of players who have never played in a game together. They've trained together. You see, they do a bunch of exercises. They maybe play 5 aside or 7 aside or sometimes even 11. But to play a game together and to have some fluidity and understanding of what other players are going to do, Scarlett got isolated completely. Had maybe 10 touches in the entire game, or at least it seemed that way. Not enough cohesion and understanding of what the other players around them were going to do, and I think that was a mistake Nuno made. I think Nuno kind of dropped the ball there a little bit, but also thought he had more than he did, which is sort of, I guess, maybe the mistake Mourinho made to some extent as well. But he fixed it obviously yesterday, which was good.
Yeah, it did feel like a lot more coherent performance yesterday. And yeah, it's good to see. I mean, we've started well in the league, guys. We've got 2 wins out of 2. I don't think we've particularly played well in the last game. I thought we was quite lucky, actually, if I'm honest, that we got through that game with 3 points. We got through with it with 3 points, so that's all that matters. Coming up to the next fixtures, how do we see them going? How do you think we're going to be keeping on this form? What do you think is going to happen?
So what I think is going to happen this time is, with Man City and Wolves, respectively, we had to defend. Obviously, for Man City, for obvious reasons, and Wolves away, you're on the back foot. That crowd is very hostile. Nuno knows what's going on up there. With Watford, I think this time he can say, do you know what? This time, you go for it. You attack. Let's have the ball, and let's start off strongly. I really, really think this is the game we've been waiting for, to play the more attacking, progressive football at home, off the back of 2 Premiership wins before the international break. I think you're going to see Tottenham put a stranglehold on the game from get-go and be very, very quick off the mark.
Yeah. If that doesn't happen within the first half, do you think will the crowd have anything to do with keeping that positivity between the fans and the players? Will there be a bit of a frustration already if we don't start doing that and we play, dare to say, Mourinho-esque football? But if we don't start that game, Brian, with that cavalier kind of approach to the game, do you think fans will start getting a little bit frustrated or worried?
Probably to some extent. To be fair, we actually have played Mourinho-esque football in both games. It has been very much what you would expect against City, like Brian said. It is a scenario where we aren't going to have a ton of the ball, and we're going to have to sort of counterattack most of the time. Against Wolves, I was a bit surprised, but I do think needs to be taken into account is the away fans, the home fans, and just fans in general, and how much that's affecting performances of the home team, because there's that 12th man sort of cliche. I feel like that 12th man has almost become a 13th man this season, because fans are so intense about what's going on. We saw it at the Spurs home game against City. Arguably, there's a reason we beat City was because of that, or to some extent, or the energy that was being given to the players. So that Wolves game was a bit of an anomaly for me. I think that was a massive effect on it. They just had, Adama Traore, who has very little to offer in the final third, does everything right up until that point, and is useless beyond it. So I think against Watford, like Brian said, I think we're going to have a ton of the ball, and what we saw last night will be mostly what we'll see at the weekend when it comes to the build-up play and the control of the game. And they'll be, they're going to have chances. They're not an awful side. They're not great, but I think we'll have more of the ball. We'll attack more. We'll cause problems for them in a way that we didn't really do to Wolves or City in the same way as we did last night, and what I'd expect to see against an average Watford side.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ben, Andy, how do you see the game going? Do you think that it's going to be an unchanged lineup? Do you think Kane's going to be coming in? Romero, when are we going to start playing that guy? So, there's a lot of things to consider these upcoming fixtures.
I think the Romero situation is quite difficult at the minute, especially with the way Dyer and Sanchez have been playing. Now, I know, we all know they're not both the best centre-backs in the league. And But they've been playing like a pair who've been together on the pitch for a long time at the minute, and I think to just take one of them out is quite harsh, on either of them. I think if we play Romero, I think we'll,
keep the same.
We've got to go with someone like Dyer, a bit calmer, someone who's more happy to sit back and just play a bit of a calmer role compared to what would get with Sanchez. I think Sanchez and Romero are too much of the same player to play together. I think there's going to be a bit more gung-ho defending, if you will, if we played them two. Then, we might get a few heart attacks going again.
We don't want that, do we? It's felt nice that we've had a decent couple of games where we felt solid. I mean, there's a couple of bits. Obviously, the Dyer thing where he tried ticking on his man and lost the ball. That was a bit of a hark back to the last couple of seasons. And Andy, is Kane going to start? When would you start thinking about bringing Romero in? And
I think Kane starts. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I appreciate what both the Brians have said. I'll go with the latter. Says start him. We'll go on the attack. I think that'll probably be the only change, if I'm honest. I agree with Ben, Dyer and Sanchez. Keep the back four as it is because they have been doing well. Romero, I would probably say I think he might come on late on the game once we're, got a couple of goals and we're up. But I think we'll start seeing him as a starter after the international break. So I actually feel quite confident, and I'm going to give it the kiss of death. I feel quite confident about Sunday. So it's
that's bad news.
It is, isn't it? But no, so I think Kane will start. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
What do you guys make of the? I read some news today that apparently Romero and Lo Celso are going to be going to Argentina for when the internationals start. But apparently that Spurs have tried to block that.
Yeah, the Premier League have blocked it, haven't they? Any listed countries?
Yeah, it's certain ratings, but for how bad the coronavirus is, in that they're saying you can't go to these countries, and they're unfortunately where they're from is one of those countries. Shit.
But yeah, apparently there's been reports today though saying that later on tonight actually saying that they're going to go anyway, regardless of what Spurs have said.
Oh really? They're going to do it anyway? I didn't see that. That's
well, it was reported on Twitter. I can't remember who'd done it, but it said they're going to go regardless of what Spurs want or.
So Lo Celso doesn't learn. He did what he did at Christmas and went and socialised, and then now he's big enough to go. Do you know what? I'm off to what? Do it at your peril, mate. And then when you can't get a match and you're fined 2 weeks' wages and you're struggling to get back in the team,
you're 14 days in quarantine or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
What idiots to say I'm going to defy the club and put my health at risk and everyone else.
I'd like to see that's true. I mean, I'm not discounting that it is. I haven't.
Yeah, look, it may be just some
paper talk or somebody.
Who knows?
That's just often the case, sadly, but.
Yeah, I mean, a thing we've always spoken about in the pub as the whole the supporters group is it's just the fact that it feels like we really need to see have a good season from Lo Celso this year. It's kind of there's been real glimpses of a player there, but yet there's also been glimpses of frustration, especially from an output point of view.
And arguably losing Ndembele, which we're going to do. He's the only one in that position that offers what the two of them offer. If we lose one of them because he doesn't want to play and he's down tools, and then the other one because he just isn't good enough, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that's a little bit like Chris's point, actually. He says, go on, Andy.
No, I was just going to say, so I think he is good enough. I just don't know what is, just again what he was about to say, Kirst, what Chris is saying. It's his attitude, and I can't explain it. Again, like we were saying about Lo Celso, he's shown some fantastic glimpses, and then so maybe 30 seconds in a game, and he'll go disappear for 87 minutes. It's a shame, but we've on previous podcasts that we've recorded, we've all said we keep players too long. As we said, Lo Celso, I think this is his last season. If he don't give us the season that we're expecting, he should be shipping out. And Ndombele, same. We turn it into a little bit of a player bashing, which again I don't want to do. But if these players are just not performing, let's get.
But there's a list, Andy, of players that are like there's a list. It's a long one. too.
It's a very long one. Yes,
it's a very old one as well. It's the same.
It is an old
we've
one.
had for ages.
Yeah. Difficult.
Guys, while we're on Gia, actually, I just want to quickly ask what everyone's verdict was. So obviously yesterday when he scored that goal, do you think it was an own goal from, I can't remember what their player was, like which player it was from their side, but do you know, as it like swerves in, it kind of makes like a sudden hit into the net. Obviously a lot of people were saying it was an own goal, but then others are saying that it was Gia that scored it. Brian, either of the Brians, what do you make of it?
The way I look at it is the way the panel look at it. If it was going on target, it's his goal. If it's a deflection the shot was going so wide, it majorly affected the flow of the ball, then it's not. And for me, just for his quick mind and doing that, it's his goal. Period.
Yeah.
Yep. Completely agree.
Why, thank you.
It's a rare occurrence.
Jesus.
Whoa.
It's happened on our show.
There you go.
Yeah,
you
we might have to do a
Brian's
Cody Martin, like screen grab that little bit.
Brian on the right's face though when he agreed, he was like, really?
I was in shock. Almost cardiac arrest.
Well, I have to play the bit of a devil's advocate with Brian on a regular basis because it's better content. You know, I sometimes I agree with him, but in this case, I did absolutely agree. I think it's 100% true. That's the rule too, right? If the ball's going on net and it takes a deflection, it's a goal because it's going on net already anyway. So the guy he gets the goal. Like Brian said, if it's going off completely and it gets deflected, then yeah. So yeah, it's a goal.
Just seeing a comment, Kirsty, regarding the UK rules and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. So they probably wouldn't be able to do it even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's the case, right? I think that they're going to be stopped or blocked from traveling.
That was certainly the last I heard.
Yeah, I
think it's a good thing, to be honest. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, I'm like, I'd rather them stay healthy and fit and train, get better. It's better. This international break is bloody useless as it is.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
You know, 3 games in and they do it, and you're just like, come on, mate. Just can we play 10 and then do an international break? That I can get because all right, it's time for a bit of a break. But
especially if you've started the season so strong.
Yeah,
and you've lost that momentum slightly going into the next game.
Yeah, exactly. It's absurd.
They've just got to cram everything into the World Cup. They've really got to cram everything in.
Yeah, like they did with the Euros, and now we got to slam the World Cup, and it's in Qatar, and it's just a total.
So we have got a wild one.
Oh, here he is.
That's
Bobby.
Bobby.
Sorry, I was opening kind of beer. Sorry, man. I thought Ben fainted.
Cheers, mate.
Ben fainted.
He did. He saw that you was coming on. Can I let best get off?
Cheers, Bobby.
Hi, Bob. Good to join us.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, mate. You're all right, mate. Andy first.
Hello, mate.
So we're just briefly talking about the next game coming up and how we envisage the team looking and what we can probably expect. I think we're all in agreement that we'd like to see a little bit more Cavalier style football of going forward, dominating the game a bit more. Do you think Kane's going to come back in, Bob?
Yeah, I think he will, although I'll probably start with this front three. I'm a firm believer that Sanchez and Dyer should start because they've not done anything to deserve to be dropped. And the same could be said about the front three. I know Lucas has probably looked a bit off against Ferrer Rocher, but, it's he allowed the odd bad game. So ideally, in an ideal world, for me personally, I'd start with the same front three. But I can't in one breath say Harry Kane's the best player at the club and then not want him to start. So yeah, he'll come in. I think he'll come in for Lucas. Then they'll push Sonny out to the left again and Bergwijn to the right, or they might even change side. But yeah, Bergwijn and Sonny to change. To stay with Bergwijn to stay out on the right, Sonny down the left, and Kane through the middle. I reckon, yeah.
Just moving on slightly in subject then. How do you guys think Nuno's doing then? He's had 3 competitive games in charge. He had a decent pre-season with Spurs. Ben, have you been impressed with him so far?
Yeah, like you say, it's early days still, but I'm more happy than I am unhappy with what we've seen. It's nice to get some Tottenham identity back after enduring the full season of Mourinho football. It's nice to see us getting on the front foot when we've got the ball and not passing it around the back and playing crab football with it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say I'm happy. It's just like I say, I feel like we've got a bit of identity back this season so far, and feel good factor.
Yeah, it's very important, that feel good factor, and it does feel like we are building up a bit of a head of steam with positivity. Obviously, probably Kane being one of the biggest catalysts in that in staying. Andy, do you think that's something he's got to crack in order for us to be better this season? I mean, I don't suppose it's hard to be better than what we was last season in terms of morale and how the squad is kind of interacting together, and there's no cliques, and there's a bit more harmony in the dressing room. Do you think Nuno's going to bring that?
It's reminding me a little bit of like the first few months of the tenure of Poch. We had the so-called bad apples in the dressing room, and Nuno's come in. We're getting a little bit of the deadwood. I just love seeing the smile back on Dele's face, and I think it's infectious. And obviously with Sonny's smile, it's like you said, it just gives you that feeling, that little warm fuzzy feeling inside. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go, but so far so good. We can only do what we what we can judge. We've not conceded a goal yet in the Premier League, have we? This is so far so good.
Time. There's plenty of time for that.
Bigger tests are coming up. Yeah, bigger tests are coming up. We know that. But yeah, so far so good. We can't decide too much until I would say towards Christmas time. Good 10, 12 games under the belt. See how we are then. But yeah, so far so good.
It's really interesting actually. You say that about kind of mirroring what happened with Poch and the bad apples. Brian, do you think we've got any bad apples in the squad at the moment? Because
I don't know about bad apples. I mean, obviously, Ndembele is currently a bad apple at this point. He's basically down tools, doesn't want to play. That's an obvious one. In the squad of the players that are playing, no. What I do see and that I like is a cohesion in identity. Like we sort of lost that with Mourinho. With Mourinho, kind of, he was like, "Oh, let the players decide what they're going to do fitness-wise. Let them figure out what they're going to do." And I think when you do something like that, you disconnect cohesion in what everybody's going to do together as a squad. They look fit for the first time in 18 months. I think that's a massive, massive thing. You see that. So one of the moments I think is important. You see them at halftime before the halftime starts again. All the players come out and start. Nice one with the drop of the camera there.
Just get a stand. I mean,
yeah, but you're seeing players coming out and warming up again for the second half. I think there's something to be said about the value of that, because it seems to me that was something what we all thought was really good about Poch was that his the 3 a day training sessions, the aggressive stuff, it eventually maybe turned some of the players off, but it is what made Spurs good for that period of time under Poch. And I think there's some of that being brought back in that they're all working together and training at the same level. And you could see it towards the ends of the games with Wolves, even though Wolves were probably better than us for that game. We looked more fit in the last 15 minutes than they did. And that's a big deal, I think. And in the City game, I think despite being under the cosh for most of the game, generally, we still seemed fit and able to deal with it for the 90 minutes. That's something that didn't happen under Mourinho. So it's nice to see that. Again, does it last? I don't know. I mean, it's 2 games in. We got the third on the weekend, and if we do see that happening up until Christmas, I think I think that's sort of the cliche, right? If we can get to Christmas at that level, that's going to be the thing that is all right. Here's where we are as a club. Here's where we are as a squad. What's the squad going to do? What's the depth there? If we have any injuries, and how we're going to manage those injuries with players that need to come in and sort of deal with the fact that maybe Skip gets injured or Højbjerg gets injured. Who do we have to fit in there? That issue is massive for me, and of course right back as well. But I'm pretty happy with things so far. I think it's better than I'm more excited about this season than I was last season, based on what we're seeing in the first couple games. Despite where we were under Mourinho in November, it was a hard watch.
Yeah. And Bob, is there any glaringly obvious differences between? Obviously there's some which stand out, but is there anything else that you've noticed which is wholly different from last season and the season before?
Yeah, I think
these initial games.
Yeah, it's a step at a time, isn't it? I mean, the first thing that really needs to work on was the fitness, and he's worked on that. That's glaringly obvious, like you say, and I think with that in place, other things will get better as well. I disagree with Ireland a little bit, what he said earlier, with regards
Bobby.
to a man's hey, that's all, yeah. But the Man City game, I don't think we were defensive at all. I think we were defending well against.
We played on a counterattack, not with possession.
I don't think so. I don't think second half. If you watch the game back, it was us on the front foot. It was us on the front foot. Yeah. They're going to be attacking anyway. They're a team behind, and they've got £1 billion worth of squad to show for, and Pep the over. I don't know. I'm jumping the gun. We could go on to Pep later. Yeah, I'm
sure we will, Bobby. I'm sure we will.
Get on now to it, Bob. If you want to talk about that situation, because I think we're gonna. Yeah, I think we wanted to touch slightly on the case.
Yeah, anyway. Well, it was a fucking dickhead.
Yes.
Start now if you want, Bob.
Yeah. He's an overrated, overhyped twat. He wouldn't last 6 months at Burnley. I think Dyche is a bigger and a better coach than what he is. And he's done nothing. He's done nothing without money in his career. Fact. He's had his first season at Man City when he wasn't allowed to bring anyone in. He finished third. Great, but he was like 12, 13 points behind us, who finished second. He had he had an average season. Then he went out the following season and brought in £100 million worth of defence in. So no, overrated. He can't do anything. It's I hate Man City more than I hate Arsenal right now. I really do. Maybe because Arsenal are.
Is that because he pitied them?
Well, no. Arsenal are irrelevant at the moment. Man City walk round as some, self-entitled attitude.
We can buy who we want, we can do what we want.
That's it, mate.
Yeah.
As if they were doing us some kind of favour by coming in and taking Kane from us. Well, all due respect, you guys were shit before 2008. You were absolutely nothing without the money. You would have been nowhere without the money. So, well deserved. The fact you can sit there with £1 billion squad and look unbalanced without a Messi, without piss off, Alan. Piss off. Without a Messi, without a Ronaldo, and without a Kane. You know what? I'm over the moon that Ronaldo's gone to Man United, because we can banter with Man United all we want. We can take the piss out of them. We'll beat them 6-1 at the home ground and all this. But you know what? Man United have always had class. They've always had class. And I think Ronaldo turning down, or supposedly going to Man United instead of Man City, regardless of how it turned out, good on him. I'd rather be the next Manchester United than the next Man City, put it that way.
It's a good show.
Yeah. That's it. I'm done.
and Andy, just something that was even like today, he was talking about Kane again, wasn't he? And talking about how much of a great negotiator Levy is.
Big master of negotiations.
Yeah, I mean, what do you all make of that press conference again? I mean, he's name checking teams, he's name checking players.
Master of fuck off, Pep.
He's just a big baby, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. The way his behaviour said, sometimes with Alex Ferguson, you knew what was going on, but he handled it with a bit more class and decorum. You knew there was tapping up players left, right, and centre, but Pep, and there was a tweet going around the other day, and I something all over it, said that Sky Sports have now bought Harry Kane and loaning him to Man City for the remainder of the season. It's I'm glad that he ain't got his own way. So it's about time, and the bubble has to burst with them. It really has. Because it's the financial fair play. What financial fair play? Don't exist anymore. No. And they're making a mockery of it.
Yeah, like they've taken away the actual FFP rules during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And obviously the teams who can take advantage of it are going to do so. And so it's blatant disregard for it. I mean, they're already doing that anyway, but they had enough lawyers to deal with when they got in trouble. But now they don't even have to worry about that. It's like, we didn't have to pay the lawyers now. We just be like, we can do whatever we want.
And Pep has mentioned Harry Kane. I'd think about in four of his last press conferences. Nuno, I forgot my manager's name there. But Nuno was asked about Traore the other day, and he said, "Look, is a Wolves player. And that's it. I respect that. Pep cannot get. I don't know if it's some sort of like I say, salty balls, or some kind of sexual fascination with Harry Kane. But
it's the Harry Kane team, BobSpur. He wants the Harry Kane team in his bedroom.
He needs to let go, man. He needs to let go. Move on, Pep. Move on. It's like that, psycho ex-girlfriend that you can't get rid of. I've had a few. But no, it's irrelevant. It's just get on, Bobby. Man. Just move on. You've got your own team to worry about. Your imbalanced £1 billion squad to worry about. You missed a great manager. Oh, fuck off, man. Just get on with it.
Yeah, like you said, Bob, I think he should. Yeah. Pep Guardiola should be more concerned about a certain left back and the actions of his players that he does have, rather than the players he wants to have. Because
allegedly.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, it's focus on that and what your players are doing. Get your lawyers on that rather than FFP. Deal with that. They're a disgrace of a team, and it's just getting worse and worse worse to them. And stop talking
state-owned bullshit.
Stop dropping Harry Kane's name and try and give us some clarity on what's happening with a certain left back that's still behind bars, and long may he stay there.
And Sky Sports, you can fuck off as well. When they're reporting the whole Kane thing, oh, you know what? Yeah, Kane stay. And then one of the first sentences was, well, it's quite clear Man City don't need him. They're quite happy with the squad. No, mate. No.
Did you also did you see that as soon as he was kind of came out that he was staying? That I think he's called Darmesh or something.
Yeah.
Straight away we're saying, they'll go back for him in January. I mean, they just can't leave this narrative alone, can they?
It's not going to happen.
Just something that was we touched on just a little bit and asked Brian. Is obviously Kane's kind of he's kind of either got a new agent or he's sacked Charlie or whatever, and his PR's gone into a bit of an overdrive of a loving for Tottenham. I'll ask Kirsty at first, actually. Kirsty, do you think he's turning it round at Spurs? What do you think he's... I mean, everyone seems to be coming more around to Kane now that he's staying. He's not covered himself in glory, has he?
A part of me does think that if the offer was there, he wouldn't, even if it was to come in, if he didn't have got as much stick as he did, I think he wouldn't think twice to go. But obviously, I know a lot of people would disagree with that. Like Brian was saying earlier, he's still got a lot of bridges to build, and it's not going to be so easily forgiven. He did bang in a few goals yesterday, and he has been obviously performing when he has been on, but I don't know. I personally, it's a bit of a tricky one because his PR team just seems to me like they're trying to force something that we know isn't there. They're trying to portray that Kane absolutely loves the club and everything, and he might do. He's spent over a decade with us. He probably does, but I mean, they're just going a bit much about it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It feels almost like it's said
in
with
a way.
Truth, but a little bit through gritted teeth. It's almost a little bit. I'm so chuffed to see these things coming out on Twitter and seeing
it's a bit contrived, right? It's a bit like, we're doing this because we know what it's going to do to affect people.
Yeah,
but we also know there's a bit of truth in it, but it's contrived. It feels fake to some extent.
I'm just really glad that we've still got him. Obviously, I know that it's not over yet. I think it'd be Tuesday or Wednesday, when it's completely. But obviously, I'm just really glad that, as it stands at the minute, we are still keeping him. I just hope that he keeps up this performance, whether he's performing how we love him, to kind of keep that price tag on his head for next summer. As long as he gets the goals in and gets us where we want to be in the Prem, obviously. Yeah, as long as he does the job, he can do whatever he likes for all I care now.
Do you think he's going to sign a new contract? Anyone?
Yes. Yeah, he deserves it. Yeah,
I think it's smart to. I think it'd be probably the thing he should do is sign a new contract, make more money for the next year weekly. Get it up to $500K a week, and then put a clause in the contract, a buyout clause, so he can leave as his agent should have done when he signed a 6-year deal. And it's just absurd that that's the situation. And he thought that a deal with Levy. Just words with Levy was somehow going to be appropriate or enough for Levy to say, yeah, all right, 100 mil, I'll give it to you. I mean, it's nuts. So I think if he's smart and his people are smart, they would do that. They'd sign another deal with a bio clause and then move on and say, hey, if it comes in, what we value you as is a club based on what's left in your contract, 100% you can go. And I think that's what Levy did here. It's just it wasn't in writing, so it was sort of confusing for Charlie. Charlie was like, I don't know what you mean. Didn't you have a gentleman's agreement? I'm confused.
Yeah, Bob, what do you make of this comment from Paddy?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm a bit confused with all these Levy lovers and saying, "Oh, yeah, big up Levy, he's done absolutely brilliant."
Yeah, I don't.
What Levy's
done anything. He just sat back.
I'll use this analogy: you've got a TV worth 150 quid. You've put it on the market for 150 quid. You've had to sell it because you've not bought the right stand for it, so it's your own fault. It's on the market for 150 quid. Someone's come along and offered you 75 quid for it, and you've said no.
Yeah.
And that's all Levy's done. He's turned down, out of everyone in the world, there's one person who's not going to sell anything that's not worth under its value, and that's Levy. Levy's not going to sell Kane on the cheap.
And everybody knows that, Bobby. So it's not like the people are going into the conversation going like, I might get something Levy that nobody else has done before. I mean,
Levy's turned down, or not even not even contemplated an offer that's not worth Kane's valuation. So he's done nothing.
Yeah,
and that's it. And that's it. So for him to get all these accolades, I would have given him some, credit if Man City had come in with £160 million bid and Levy turned it down. That's when Levy starts getting credit. But to be turning down offers that isn't worth the value of the player, I don't know, man. And to consider the only reason Kane's wanted to leave is because of the fucking lack of ambition by the owners, from the owners over the last 20 years. I think it takes absolutely zilch credit. Zilch.
100%.
Just one thing that I've said before, though, which I think is so obvious, is how much did Man City actually want him? They keep talking about that they want him, but actually, if they're not going to offer what his going rate is worth, and they prioritise another midfielder that cost 100 million over a striker,
why did they buy Grealish?
They can't seriously want Harry Kane that much. I think they've really
need him, though, don't they, Matt? They need him. They need a striker.
They do, but if they've underestimated Levy's, not accepting someone below
Kane specifically,
they're fucking idiots. Man City are idiots. Anyone could tell you that
this deal for sure.
What they were hoping for was Harry Kane would put in the transfer request.
Yeah,
and then the price would be down. His intentions would be clear.
It's a good show.
And then Man City would have swooped. But Harry Kane would not have done it to the Spurs fans. Now, what we have to get right is that statement that came out wasn't because he wants to stay at Spurs. It's because Man City shit the bed and he had to do damage limitation. Yeah. I'm telling you now, even now, because I still say this isn't over, if Man City come in with 160 and Levy accepts it, he's gone. With this statement or not,
don't see it.
He's gone. He is gone because, like Bob said, we have not matched his ambitions. And even with him now coming out and saying he's staying, what we should have done is just as look how quickly this Ronaldo deal's gone through. The biggest player in the world, the biggest transfer wages and everything, done within hours. Whereas we are still struggling to get Tomiyasu. If Kane was staying, we should have gone on all-out attack to recuperate and sign players that would have made Kane think, do you know what? Now Tottenham are talking my language. But here we are, 4 days before the window shuts. And don't get me wrong, this Sargyle we've signed could be a superstar. But I don't care if he could be a superstar. I want a player that comes into the club and immediately benefits the first 11. And we haven't done it. We haven't done it.
Can I play slight devil's advocate with something I want to say?
Please do, because I was gonna, and I'm sick of it.
Because when you look at Spurs in the last 5 or 6 years, Harry Kane has had and been in opportunities of tasting a bit of glory with Spurs. Now we all know that we should have had a better squad and we should have competed more. But actually, the ambition was there to try and win the league under Poch. The ambition was there to try and win the Champions League. Maybe not bringing the players in. I absolutely agree with that. But actually, he's been really unlucky in this time at Spurs, Kane, because we've had we've been so close to the
we got to the Champions League final. I mean,
yeah, and we've never done that ever. And part of that has to be attributed to the players that we had, but also the mentality of the players of getting to the final. I know that season was terrible in terms of league performance, but Harry Kane, and a lot of people have said it. If he went to Man City, he's not earned the right to win them trophies because they've been bought.
They're empty trophies, right? They're empty trophies.
It's not a challenge to go to Man City. And I know what you're saying with regards to Gus getting to finals and stuff like that, but you can't sit there and tell me that a Bruno Fernandes, who were quite clearly was at the door ready to sign, a Grealish who was quite ready to sign, a Dybala who was quite ready to sign, a Skriniar who was quite ready to sign.
Yeah.
Hitchin brought all these players to the door. The buck literally stopped with Levy. Of course, no one can sit here and say we definitely would have won something, but I'll tell you what, we would have had a better chance with those players on board. So, Kane.
I agree, Bob, but just one thing: for every Fernandes, there's an Ndombele. So
you can't
transfers for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you buy someone for 80 million. A transfer for me is still a risk because that player might not, unless he's Ronaldo, Messi, all the players are going to do it. Who proven to do it. You go and pay 60 million for someone that not necessarily everyone's heard of. I think that's still.
But
quite
with regards to the Bruno Fernandes, I'll tell you what, I would have put my money on Bruno Fernandes being a bit better than Gedson Fernandes. And I'll tell you something, I would have put my money on Dybala being better than a Jack Clark. I certainly would have put Skriniar being better than a Rodon. So I know what you're saying, but when it comes to the point of actually getting someone over the line for the sake of a few million, then no, I'll stand by the fact that Bruno would have done better than a Gedson. Dybala would have done better than Jack Clark, and certainly Skriniar would have done a bit more than a Rodon. We certainly would have been in a better position to win trophies. Yeah. But like you say, it's a risk. But like I say, my money would have been on us being a bit better now than what would have been a bit better now than what we are. Certainly,
I definitely agree with the sentiment, and I think all Spurs fans know that if we would have stuck our neck out at the times where we needed to, and even going back to Redknapp and when we bought Zaha and Nelson, we didn't stick our neck out for Tevez and Cahill. All these things are what Chelsea do, what Man United did, Man City do. I just want to really quickly ask. Why, and I'll start with Andy. Why don't players hand in transfer requests anymore? If Harry Kane would have handed a transfer request at the end of last season, I'm not sure that he would have had all the fans on his case. I think there would have been understanding. Why didn't he just do that? Why is it all the cloak and dagger shit? That's Sky Sports News interviews and
I think I think a lot of it is to do with social media. Like they don't have to. They can just start leaking little bits of information. And, I mean, you've seen them happen. Greatest fan of social media at best of times. It can be evil as well. But, so all it takes is like, I met my mate in the pub and he said this, and it's out there. And then the fans start getting on the back, and we've had the, Kane, apart from this statement and his interview, didn't actually say much at all. But, social media, we're going to meltdown, and it's just so easy for him. And then you're same with Ndombele.
Yeah,
the meltdown is
so that, but like so I think
feel a bit like the Arsenal.
Yeah, it's
gets absurd. It's just like, guys, relax a little bit, chill. Like, why is everybody freaking out? We are not the nuts down the road. So.
Yeah, it's got to a stage now where football has become this compressed emotion of like, if you don't get what you want, if you don't get a win within one game,
the wheels come off, right? Like everything's up Shit's Creek without a paddle.
Right, so I'm aware we've been on for an hour now, so I just want to move topics slightly. We'll briefly talk about transfer window. I guess it's what all football fans have become to really love. Who we're going to bring in, and who do we envisage going out again? Going out by the end of the window. Ben, who do you want to bring in within this short period?
That is question.
And it doesn't have to be a name that we've been linked with. I'm sure there's players out there that we don't know that we're probably in negotiations with.
Well, this is it. We don't know, do we? Because from what we've heard of Paratici, it's 10 players for every one transfer we're going to do. But yeah, just to throw a name out there, I wouldn't mind us going out and getting our from Leon. You know, if it's looking like Ndombele is going out the door, which I think with each passing week it's getting. Well, I say each passing week we ain't got that long left, have we? So something's
like
going
4 days,
to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to have to happen quick.
Yeah.
But I know. I mean, the home ground quarters at full now, isn't it as well? So if we're gonna get anyone from overseas that's not gonna fit into the homegrown, it's we're gonna have to get players out the door first.
Does Sissoko change that? I don't
No,
know.
because
£5 million now. When are you going to do with £5 million? We're going to buy another.
Well, there's 2 million extra to go get Tomiyasu now because we've got the 2 million we were hacking over.
Yeah, maybe that covers the Tomiyasu.
Exactly, it should be done now.
Clinton G incoming. Clinton G Part 2 incoming.
Exactly,
still at the airport at the Olympics waiting for a phone call from Levy. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just quickly, guys, on that note, we're going to have to quickly leave to prepare for the 2 Brian show at 7.
Completely understandable. I just want to say a massive thank you to you both for coming on.
Thanks for having us, Kirst.
Obviously, I know it was so last minute, but you've been a great pair of you, honestly. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Which sexy guest have you got on later?
Yeah,
BobSpur TV is going to be with us on the channel because BobSpur is almost always with us. We love Bobby. We love Bobby. Piss off, Bobby. We'll see you in less than an hour. You're lovely. But thanks, guys. Matt, Ben, Andy, and Kirst. You guys are brilliant.
Coming on.
Thanks,
we'd love
guys.
to have you guys on our channel at some point too, so we can do a little crossover.
Yeah, everyone hop over to Tottenham On Tour, like, subscribe, give them guys a follow. Honestly, they post amazing content.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
They're all right. They're not that good. They're all right.
Levy.
So Bobby's no longer going to be on the channel later tonight. I just changed the link. It's not the same as it was. Piss off, Bobby. We'll see everybody later. But thank you guys. Really been a pleasure. Cheers,
thanks, fellas.
Cheers.
Come on, you Spurs.
Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs. So Ben, you want however you pronounce it.
However, yeah, I mean, I can't give you a name. With that point in the window and with players needing to go out the door first, I don't know.
Are you a bit kind of head spinning with all the names we've been linked with? It's all the players that you think, oh yeah, I'd love him to sign, and then a day later it's like, nah, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
and Andy, who would you bring in?
I ain't got a clue. Honestly, I've not got a clue anymore. Like I said, I think the outgoings. Ori is supposed to be, he's on about being sent to Lille. And Ndombele, I don't know what had happened to him. I couldn't tell you who's going to come in. I said there's that many names banding around. I think one of the chaps has just put on the comment. There's this kid from Barcelona. I've never heard of him until today. This kid from apparently. Yeah. So I haven't got a clue. I'll just sit back and enjoy the ride. Ask me on Tuesday night, 11 o'clock. See where we are then, and then we'll see. That's it. We can stop talking about it till January.
Yeah, I definitely think we need to get a striker in. Sorry, Matt.
No, go for it. Go on.
I definitely think we need to get a striker in before the end of it. I don't think it'll happen. I think we've left it way too late. But to get another one in. But yeah, definitely, and right back as well. Centre backs we need to focus on. Ideally, we want to get obviously shift as much deadwood out as we can, but I think I see us getting rid of maybe one more player. I can't see us getting many in there.
Well, that was a question we got on our Facebook page. This is from Aaron Simon. It says, can we survive till January if we don't get a striker in during this transfer window?
Well, we've managed the past few seasons.
This is it. We're used to it, aren't we?
I think we'll struggle massively.
You said you'd take Llorente back. That's how desperate you was. Was it you or was it Pete who said Llorente?
I think it was Pete, but
Pete, yeah.
Hey, if we ain't got any other choice, you get the tree back in the squad. Do you know what I mean?
God.
Who would you bring in, Bob?
Oh, it's been a shit transfer window so far. Let's be honest. we're a weaker team right now than what we were when we finished last season. For every Toby experienced defender we've lost, we've brought in a 23-year-old untested, inexperienced Premier League player who I think will be brilliant. You know, I think I was going on about Romero since October, so I think it's absolute. The fact we haven't kicked on from that is another story altogether. We brought in a Galini, a goalkeeper on loan, who's going to obviously challenge Lloris, but is replacing Hart. For every Lamela, we've brought in a young player who we all had to Google. Let's be honest, we never heard of him. And but where's our goals from Bale coming from? Where's our presence of Vinicius come from? I didn't rate Vinicius, but we had a body there to bring on if we need it. Where's that body? Where's the double-figured goals from Bale? Regardless of him doing it against the smaller teams, at least we had an output against the smaller teams when they were all sitting back. We had Bale to score goals from impossible angles or creating goals from impossible angles. So so right now we're a weaker team, and it's a 2 out of 10 transfer window for me. In an ideal world, we get rid of Aurier, we get rid of Ndombele, and get rid of a Jack Clark, and we bring in the Tomiyasu, we bring in a McKennie, and we bring in another forward. Who that forward is, I have no idea. But we need an attacking option. Be that Doku, so be it. But we need someone. We need a presence up front. I don't rate Traore one little bit. You know, if you want someone to run up and down a field really fast, get Usain Bolt. We know one product. So, but if it comes down and lo and behold, it's the Levy tactic. So, we're at the last minute of the window. We'll take in any bargain basement, be it Sahar, be it Nelson. We'll take in anyone, and if it means we're taking in Traore, then so be it. But I don't rate him. I don't rate him one bit. But we need an attacking option, and ideally Tomiyasu and McKennie. That would be brilliant. But definitely out Aurier. We got to get the balance right, though. We're getting these players out, but we're not getting the players in, and we've been left with a very, very skeleton first team squad. We're going to be left with no numbers. Right now, the fact is we're a much weaker squad than what we were at the end of last season, and we need to rectify that.
I think for me, one thing that's really evident is obviously Paratici's probably had a set of different targets that he's had to meet in coming in. One of the things that I think he's been told to do is reduce that wage bill. Obviously, getting rid of some of the players we probably would have tried to get rid of anyway have helped him with that. But you look at, as you say, Bob, the players we've sold and the players we've brought in. We've got Toby out. He was probably 100 plus. Romero's probably going to be about 50 to 60. We've got Lamela out, who's 70 to 80. We've got Hill, who's probably about 15, 20. And then you look at Sissoko's gone. He was 100 grand. We've lost Bale, 250 grand who's contributing to that. So all in all, we've shaved quite a lot of that wage bill. The thing you look at with the players that they're bringing in and they brought in Saturday, I've actually had to write his name down, Papa Matasar, because I couldn't remember it. Apparently, he looks like he's one for the future.
Mate.
From what I've seen, he looks quality, but at the same time, we need the midfielders now.
Yeah.
They've got Hill. We're looking at this Mariba from Barcelona. Do you think that's the painful rebuild? Do you think that's the...
No, Matt, I mean, come on.
This is the future that we're looking at? And that's
you want to talk about a future, mate? We've got Reguilon, Tanganga, Romero, Højbjerg, Skip, Bergwijn. 6 players there, just there. Scarlett, a Hill. 8 players there under 25. There's my future. They're at our club already. I don't give a shit. With all due respect, I love Spurs. I've been supporting for nearly 40 years. I love Spurs. They're in my blood. But I don't give a shit about the future right now. I'm more concerned about where we're going to go this season. And the question was if we're going to survive till Jan without another striker. No, we won't. If Kane picks up, I know he's been great. I know he's a bit overstated, the fact he's got is injury prone. It's not really. He only missed a few games last season, and before then he missed about 6 or 7. We need a striker, but he will need a rest. Sonny will need. The reason why Sonny was so shit towards the end of last season because he was knackered. He was absolutely knackered. We were rushing him back when he got injured. Kane the same. We need another body up front, even if he only gets us 10 goals a season. I'll tell you what, that's absolutely fantastic. We need another presence up front. We need another midfielder. Could you tell me right now and name me one name? We need a defensive midfielder or someone to hold the midfield if a Skip or Højbjerg gets injured. Who do we bring in?
Well, I think they've been linked with Kessie, haven't they, from AC
No,
Milan?
right now, if we brought no one in the
we
squad,
brought no one in, in the squad, well, it was West last season because Skip was on loan. So
yeah, exactly.
if Højbjerg would have been injured last season, it would have literally been Winks and Sissoko. Which
there you go. I'm not going to say anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, Andy, Ben, we're talking about strikers. We're not going to pay a lot of money for a striker in this window. Obviously, Kane plays a lot of games.
Not now, Kane's staying.
Is there any players that we could look in the Championship? I know that's it's not very exciting, but is there any up and coming strikers? Ivan Toney last season obviously did really well with Brentford. Is there anyone we can look at in the Championship? I'm not saying you should have done a scouting mission, by the way. You should know all the names in the Championship.
Who's on your books?
It's funny to say that. Go on, Andy. You're right. Go on.
No, it's fine. So I was just going to say, I think there's always going to be a little gem in there. So and again, I can't even think of anybody off my head, but there was linked a few days ago to Bamford. I know he's at Leeds in the Premier League, just signed a new deal. Danny Ings, we should have gone again. It's all woulda, shoulda, couldas. There will be some players in there that will, want to come up, even if they are 25, 26.
Troy Deeney.
Yeah, well,
the comment.
Troy Deeney. I mean, there's I don't know how old he is, but is it Pookie at Norwich? So he was I know he's thingy, but it says he knows where the net is. And if he's going to be somebody that's just going to sit on the sidelines for most of it,
you know what, Andy? We were quite happy when all that shitty merry-go-round with the managers was happening earlier when we went 70 odd days without. We were happy. We were stood there with open arms to welcome a Fonseca into the club.
Yeah.
That's where we'd got. Where we'd got as a club. We've been pissed about, led up the fucking garden path for so long. We were there going. We were doing. I did about fucking 4 streams on Fonseca, saying welcome to Spurs. Come. Well, this is what we got for you. Welcome, Fonseca. Oh, what's he done previously? Oh, you're right. He liked a jam sandwich in the morning. That's how far we research. And again, we were pissed all over. Now we've got the same with the players. We're talking about getting a fucking Troy Deeney, a Pookie. That's where we are. We're at this position. We're at this point where, because the board's fuck around and the director of fuck all has got no one in, and we're quite happy to be considered with to be linked with the likes of a Pookie and Troy Deeney. And I personally said just now, oh yeah, Bamford, I'll take that. Bamford, we were fucking linked to Messi a few weeks ago. Fucking hell, man.
It's the old Spurs thing again, though, isn't it? Oh, we missed the trick not getting him.
Oh man!
How many times?
I'm currently putting together a short video on Link FC, Tottenham Hotspur Link FC.
You've got a saying, haven't you, Bob?
Bob,
you've got a new saying that everyone kind of knows you for now. It's till they hold the shirt.
That's it.
It's that old classic. Well, we tried to get you guys.
Oh,
yeah,
and it's a load of shit, really.
I think we missed the trick. Just going back to the striker thing.
Yeah.
A hidden gem, I think it's going to be this season. It's going to shock a few people, and that's Armstrong, who's gone to Southampton from. Yeah. I think was it Blackburn.
Blackburn, yeah.
I think he's going to be one people are going to look to. Again, it's one of them where it's like, why didn't other teams go for him?
Does anyone else feel a bit more reassured, though, the fact that we've got Paratici, who in my mind, I'm thinking, look, I didn't know a lot of the players that we brought in under Pochettino. I didn't know who Dyer was, and he turned out all right at first. I'm not so impressed with now. I didn't know who Dele was. I didn't know who Son was. There's a lot of players that we didn't know who was, but they turned out to be good. I've got more faith in Paratici to bring in players that I think we'll be more impressed with than just go spunk loads of money on Coutinho and spend half a fucking £1 billion on.
When does
on
a rebuild
player.
end, though, Matt? When does a rebuild end?
Yeah, well,
we're talking about a rebuild again. When does a rebuild? We're doing a rebuild under Poch, under Mitchell. Then we're doing a rebuild under Hitchin with Poch. and then we're doing a rebuild now. When do we see the fruition of this rebuild? I guess, right now, our transfer window has been nothing more or nothing less than a Hitchin window. For every Romero, we brought in a Sanchez. For a Dembele, we broke the transfer record and we brought in a good player who's been doing really well in another thingy. But I like Romero. I'm not going to compare them directly because I really do think there's a player in there. Irrelevant if we don't buy any quality to go around him. Kane staying. We need to kick on. We need to, like it or not, I hate what he did, but we need a team who deserves to be on the same pitch as Harry Kane. Like it or not, he is our best player. He's the best striker in the world, in my eyes. We're so lucky to have him. It's irrelevant of him staying here if we don't build a team around him. So for every Sarr and whoever, the Barcelona, they can fuck off for now. I'm not concerned about it. They'll be great in the future. Right now, we need the right players, the right caliber of players to play around Harry Kane, the best striker in the world. We're Spurs, man. We're Spurs. Fucking act like it.
I think the biggest thing to start us off this season has been getting some of the main deadwood out the club. Like we've just seen Sissoko go. We've had, love the fella, but Lamella's needed to go for a few seasons in my eyes. We've got, like you say, Matt, all the time, we've got these players stinking out the place. There's too many of them. And it's just been a stagnation, season after season, not shipping them out, keeping them too long. And at least this season, we have made the moves to correct that a bit. It's the first window. I think, a couple more windows, and I think we've got to see where we are then. It don't benefit us right now, like we need it to, but I think this is a problem that's been caused by just bad management and neglecting the squad, just season after season.
It's that season where that 2 years I think where we didn't buy a player has had such a massive knock-on effect, and I just don't think they could ever estimate the size of that knock-on effect.
No, I don't know.
Not buying Grealish, not what I mean. Just really resting on our laurels for 2 seasons of like, well, we're good. Pochettino's getting the best out of these players. We don't really need to sign anyone. I will say though, I think it's a little bit weighted towards Daniel Levy and the board for that area. I think
100%.
But I think Pochettino at the same time was quite stubborn in the players that he wanted to bring in.
He was very specific, wasn't he?
Maybe he wasn't getting the players brought to him that he thought was good enough. So he was maybe looking at these players being suggested, going, I don't want him. He's fucking terrible. So he was quite selective in his players.
But he did always say, he went a few years saying we need the furniture for this lovely
it's the painful rebuild.
I just think it's very unlikely a manager will sit there getting us to second and thirds and finals and not want to improve. That's the thing, with the whole Don Paratici thing. I ain't got a problem with Paratici. I've got the issue with the fan base giving him that Don title so prematurely, because then last time I checked, I might be wrong here, the last time I checked, Levy's still signing the checks. It's irrelevant. God, Andy's gulping that down, isn't he? Look at that. Look, it's frozen. Come on, Andy. Come on, Andy.
In the world. Kirsty, have we got any comments regarding transfers? Anyone mentioning any transfer targets they'd like to bring in?
Andy, you legend.
To be fair, Matt, I've literally popped them all up as they've been coming up. Everyone's just basically just agreeing with what the panel is saying. But yeah, regarding transfers, I think, like Bob said, I think the Don status is pretty premature still. He's done really well to get Romero in, because obviously I think having Paratici in is one of the main reasons why we got Romero. But I'm still waiting to see this big expectation, I'll say, expectation of Romero that has been fed to me from our fan base, because I know you was really happy, weren't you, Bob?
I'm still waiting. I had my Kleenex out,
yeah. You was counting down, weren't you? Every time we was getting like links and rumours, Bob was straight at it.
Romero.
I think with the Don Paratici thing, you know, fans can play a big part in the downfall of what, you know, of our expectations. We're building him up, and then when he don't do what we're expecting him to do, it's like, is he all that?
Exactly.
And you know, we forget that he was at Juventus for what, three years. They already had a good squad before.
10 years. 10 years
and won 9 titles in a row.
Yeah, he was there a long time.
You look at the quality of that Juventus side compared to the squad that he's come into here. Yeah, he's got a hell of a job on.
Yeah.
And to place all expectation on him straight away.
It's also easier to get players to sign for Juventus.
Yeah, completely.
Than what it is for Spurs. That's what I'm saying. It's the issue is with Paratici, because, like I say, his ambition has got to be leveled out, or the board's ambition's got to match Paratici, and we've not seen it. Yeah. So far, Paratici is just a hitchin in an Italian suit with more hair. That is because of the board. And it's up to the board to make Paratici a Don, not his signings.
Yeah, he can only do what the board and leave you're going to let him do.
Exactly.
Andy, what do you make of all the jarving about with him and his best buddy Steve Hitchin next to him, copying everything he's doing on the sidelines? What do you make of that? What do you think Nuno makes of that?
I think Nuno's just going to get on with his job, if I'm honest. I mean, for me, it's all, when he was brought in, I think it's Levy, I won't say trying to pass the buck, but he's got another figure to blame.
It can shift some blame,
and the fans are all over it. It says, if we sign Romero, Paratici is fantastic. If we don't get so-and-so, it's Levy's fault. You know, and to me, like Ben said, it says it's too early to judge him, but I just think it's just another person in the middle that we can point the finger at for now. Nuno's just going to get on with his job. We've been here before with was it Jacques Santini, Frank Hansen and Martin Jol. You remember the photos of them three on the pitch, and within about 3 months Santini had gone, and it's to me it's just another figurehead that it's just trying to deflect the things away from the board for me. Time will tell. You know, so ask us again at the end of the season once we've lifted that Premier League trophy, then we'll all be happy. So it's
I nearly spat my beer out there, Andy.
Hey, optimism. Always optimism.
So, I think moving on to the last little segment then, I think we've probably talked enough tonight. Probably just go through the next game and what our predictions are and what scores we think there's going to be. And then we'll wrap it up there if that's all right with everyone else.
Yeah.
Kirsty, what do you think is going to happen? Watford game, what score?
So I think it'll finish 2-0 to us. I do think we'll have another lovely clean sheet. I think Kane will be starting. I can see, to be fair, Son had quite a few shots yesterday, and obviously it was a shame none of them went in, but I can see him probably potentially netting one tomorrow. What day are we on today? It's Friday. Oh, Sunday. Yeah, so day after tomorrow. I can see him netting one. And then the other one, I think Brian will probably have a play, and I think he might even get one in. I can't see Kane scoring again, although obviously it'd be good if he did, but I think he's had his moment the other day. I think he'll probably assist either one or two of the ones that I'm predicting. But yeah, what do you think, Matt?
I like the look of Brian Hill or Gill. He's very kind of Modric-esque, the way he not in his style, I suppose, but the way he moves about the pitch. He reminds me a little like Modric, quite quick, releasing the ball fast. Got really good balance, got good control. I like the look of him. I kind of want to see him start these games against Watford, maybe, and
it looked really good yesterday.
And things like that.
He could give a few of our players a run for the money.
What's that? Sorry, Ben.
I think Spanish Brian could give quite a few of our players quite a good run for the money, to be honest. I saw someone earlier just to add to the point, and I'll shut up again. We was expecting him to be this tricky winger, you know, on the wing, cutting in, But someone had compared him. It was like, if you look at him, he plays a bit of a David Silva role. You know, like a Modric type.
I'll tell you what we could do with one of them.
You know, and if he can be half the player, you know, we've cracked it. But
So
I think he's going to be a different player to what we thought we was getting, a bit like Højbjerg.
Going back to the score, 2-0 for me, Tottenham. Ben?
Quite similar. I'd probably say 2-0. You know, I think Kane's going to start. You know, he's fit. You can't not start him.
I need Kane to start getting some Premier League goals, though, because he's in my fantasy team, and I've got nothing from him up to now.
I've had to put him back in. It just don't feel right leaving him out.
Bob, what do you score predictions?
I said 2-3-0, 2-3 consecutive 3-0s against Ferrero Rocher and Watford Sunday. So it'll be another 3-0. Had Kane to get 2 and Bergwijn to get off it. I'd calm down personally on Brian Hill. Even Winks looked good yesterday against a very, very poor team. I think there's only so much. You can see the potential there. Of course you can. But to put him into Premier League games straight away, I'd certainly have him on the bench and certainly bring him on at some time. But I don't think he's start worthy yet. Like I say, even Doherty had a good game, averaging a good game. Yeah. So Winks suddenly is someone that we wouldn't mind keeping over.
You brought some good context there.
I'd still get rid of him.
Winks' first good game in 24 years. You know, it's like I say, we have to, stand back and give the young player a bit of time, bring him on, but starting a Premier League game just probably too early for me.
Yeah, we've all seen what pressure and expectation can do to young players in this league, and it's not right.
100%.
Andy?
Well, my gut's saying 4-0, but I think I'm going to just sit on the fence a little bit and go 3-0.
Sit on the fence with 3-0. Yeah. It'll be a 1-0. It'll be a 1-0 draw.
Thing is, you know, at the end of the season, if we won 38 games 1-0, I think any of us would take it. So, but no, I think there'll be a few goals in it for us. So yeah, I'll go sit on 3-0.
That's brilliant. Right, we'll probably wrap it up there, Kirsty. Anything more to add, do you think?
Yeah, so just really quickly before we do shoot off, I just want to quickly say a massive thank you to everyone who has tuned in. Obviously, this was the first episode of the Glory Game. You will be able to find it over on the Hull Spurs Official Supporters Club YouTube channel as well. So that will be getting uploaded a bit later on tonight. And I do want to say, obviously, a massive thank you to everybody who has hopped onto the channel. I know it was very last minute. So, yeah, big up to you, Bob. Big up as well to the two Bryans. It was really appreciated. So, I don't know if you want to just, obviously, I know that the two Bryans are going live in half an hour over on Tottenham On Tour. So, obviously, everyone head over there. Bob, do you want to just give like a quick insight on whereabouts people can find you?
Yeah, BobSpur TV, doing 2 shows a week at the moment. The In the Wall show, which is normally about 10:30. Yeah, it's not big time at Spurs at the moment, mate. So move on, jog on, caller. So 2 shows a week at the moment. Saturday night In the Wall, which is normally about 11 o'clock, and then the afternoon after a Spurs game, so which is the day after the day before show, which is normally, so far it's been a Monday. So 2 shows at the moment. Saturday night 11 o'clock. And the day after the day before show, which is an afternoon after the Premier League game we've played in. Just the following day, it allows us to sleep on it and bring a different perspective to the whole game, win, lose or draw. That's it, yeah. Piss off Pep TV. Yeah, that's a good one. Cheers, Tom. You can be my honorary guest.
So yeah, thank you so much for that, Bob. And obviously, Matt, Ben, Andy, do you want to just quickly give a brief on whereabouts people can find you? Because obviously you can find all you lot on the same place, can't you?
Yeah, so essentially we've been doing the Glory Game for about a year now. We've moved over to this channel. As I said before at the start, we're moving into the new age with you, Kirsty. So we're like as I said before, we're like Spurs at Wembley. So thanks for hosting this for us tonight. All our previous episodes are all on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that sort of stuff. We're going to be funneling this into that as well, so you can catch us on YouTube and Spotify now. So I'm sure that the guys below who are the committee members of the Spurs supporters group for Hull, any people from Hull watching this, get involved, get membership. We watch at White Hart every Spurs game, so there's quite a big community there that needs growing and harnessing, and we can do stuff like this and interact with people as well. So yeah, just a big shout out to them. But yeah, thanks Kirsty for hosting tonight. Again, thanks Bob for joining us. It's been great.
Always.
Hopefully we can get you on in the future as well, maybe.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Just want to say, come on, you Spurs, and we'll leave it there. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks, everyone.
You're overrated.
The Glory Game, brought to you by Hull Spurs, an official Tottenham supporters group.